Call the regular session to order, and the first thing is pledge of allegiance. Scott, can you lead us?
Yeah. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alright. I need approval and amendment of meeting agenda items.
I move to approve the meeting agenda items for the June 16th, 2021 board meeting as presented.
Is there a second? Moved and second. It's been moved and seconded to approve the meeting agenda items for June 16th, 2021 as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Motion carries. Approval of minutes.
I move to approve the minutes of the May 12th, 2021 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of May 12th, 2021 as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Good news.
Well, we have good news. We had graduation went off really well. We have the DVDs that showed up today, so we'll be giving those out. But I want to thank Barry and Corey for being there. Thank you guys very much for representing the board. That went really well. I was really pleased with the attendance and just overall it was just a great ceremony. So, especially after COVID, you just see it was great. We had some great speeches. We got a speaker here. Your speech was one of the best I've ever heard. So you guys were great. Nice job. Thank you. So I just want to say good news. That was what I wanted to mention to you. Also good news is, that we have a lot of people who are very pleased with the school year going all year, and that's a tribute to the board and to our staff. So thank you.
Zach had some great quotes.
Yeah. Excellent.
Who did we quote?
We had Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yeah.
We had Rosa
Babe Ruth.
Parks, Babe Ruth. That was in a different paragraph.
The last one.
Joe Dirt.
Oh
Joe
yeah,
Dirt.
Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt.
Perfect. I love that.
Other good news?
No, I have my reports.
Okay, superintendent report.
Okay, got a few things you got to go through. It's a pretty substantial summer school program. I want to thank, a lot of people. We got Ms. Farr, and we got Ms. Chalice Young, and we have all the administrators, Susan and her team, everything. So we got a lot of programs. We got swimming pool, we got movies, we got rodeo, we got equestrian, we got soccer. We got like 14 different projects. So we got them all going. Not just counting and then academics. So we got a lot of programs. You'll see that all next month. So I'll give you the entire thing where we're going. Summer school starts the 21st. That's the academic piece. For most of them in middle school, all the high school kids have already started, coming online. So we're going with that. So that's going really well. The wellness team did a great job, and they had a wellness activity at the end. We bought some paddle boards and things like that. So that's going great. So the wellness people got going. We got to drink celery juice and all kinds of good stuff. So our staff is really doing well with that. The Roger Burley and Quinn McKay applied for the head administrator, for maintenance and custodial lead, so they both were the ones that accepted. We had some good applicants, and those were the two we went with. Next week is COSA, so we have Susan, Tandlin, Chris, Hillary, and myself out, and that's in Seaside, so that should be a really good event. I also want to mention that Lake County School District Number 7 was selected to be the host for the vendor reception, which is like all the vendors who provide things for school districts. So we'll be providing that. COSA will provide all the money for the festivities, but we'll be the host. So that'll be the first time for Lake County, or first time in Eastern Oregon to actually host it, be the vendor host. So we're pretty excited. That's Wednesday night, and that would be in the home. We all decided we decided to rent a home. It was cheaper than hotels for all of us. So we're all sharing a house, and then that vendor reception will be in our house downstairs. So we're pretty excited about that. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned that to you, so that's pretty good. The district office goes in the 410s, and also does maintenance and custodial. So you're going to see Friday, people are off. If you do see somebody here Friday, we're doing that sometimes to do with the gym floors and things like that, and all the other things we have going, like we're pumping out some tanks. Gym floors are done. All of them done this week. Plus, we played sports. So Chris has done a great job. We'll talk about that. We had wrestling here today, and he has some good news on that, but I don't want to steal his thunder. We have the PERS bonding going real well. Janet was on there today, and I just got all the numbers on my desk. I went through them. I'm going to spend some time on it. Right now, theoretically, we could save about $3 million. So it's one of those we have to look at. We will pull the trigger on that here in July. We have an actuary that we've hired that represents the district to tell us good, yay, nay, or indifferent. Of course, there's always that gamble that 2 days for the stock market. But if we do everything right, we will go out for the bond the 19th, sign off, the 20th it will go out, and by the 21st we find out who buys it. It's right now going to be $600+ million. So that's all the districts have got involved. The only one that's pulled out so far is Crook County pulled out yesterday because they have so much of a side account that it's not going to pay for them to do it. So that's where we're at with that part. I want to talk about Brandy Harris did a great job with her program with graduation. I want to mention her specifically, Chris Rose from graduation. I also want to publicly thank Lane Stratton. I got to do his evaluation today, but I want to mention to the whole world out there that I could not have done my job, and the district would not have been successful without Mr. Stratton's efforts. So thank you, Mr. Stratton, for all your work, and it's been a pleasure serving with you. We're very happy that you're staying with us, and he's a great math teacher, so we're really excited about working that out. I want to mention that we hired Sheila Sturbo to run our daycare. She's doing a great job with that. So we have a lot of kids at daycare, and it looks like over 50 when it's all said and done. So we got a daycare offer for everybody, and that's right now with the ones who are already in there rolled up for this week. Next week, it's open for the whole community. So we're going to have everybody there for that. We're pretty excited about that. We also have a theater club going. So Francine Winters got her stuff going. We were able, and Chalice was able to work out and Brandy to give the kids credit. So we have kids who are going to get some English credit and also some theater and drama credit. So two birds with one stone. So we're working on that. Pool opens up here this week, so that's going to be huge. And most of the kids there serving are our kids. So we're pretty excited about that. So the kids who are lifeguards and everything will also get PD credit. So it's going to be, again, a real great benefit for everyone on that one. That's pretty much what I have. I just want to thank you all very much for a very challenging year. And I think we could not have done it without good vision and leadership, and thank the board for providing that and allowing us to have a lot of flexibility. And I appreciate Janet, who's been able to try to keep up with all the finances, because we've really done a lot of money coming in and out. It's been a big challenge for all of us. You'll see a lot of resolutions that's come through there. You see them tonight. I have also done all the administrative evaluations. We had 2 scheduled today. I had to cancel until tomorrow. But all administrators, we got that done, and then they've turned in their evaluation. So I think we're right on track. So that's all I have. Do you have any questions for me? Okay. Thank you all very much.
Hearing none. Next up is public comment. Anybody would like to give public comment? Hearing none. Alright, next up is,
Reports.
reports. Okay, so first up is National Honor Society.
All right. Please. Ready to step into the camera. All right.
Cameras, you can come over here.
Yeah, why don't you stand right here and I'll move out.
Oh, yeah.
Introduce yourself and tell us what you're doing.
All right.
There we go.
I'm Zach Reese. I'm the co-president of Lakeview High School Honor Society. The Lakeview High School Honor Society is a group of sophomores, juniors, and seniors that must qualify for membership. Our membership must have a 3.65 or higher GPA. They must complete at least 20 hours of community service throughout the school year and be the chairperson of one of our committees. Most of our members actually exceed these requirements, and we currently have 20 members. I would like to give an update on all of our projects for the 2020-21 school year. So this fall we painted the Spirit Rock. At that point we had only our 3 senior members, myself, Allison Hussey, and Sam Hopper. None of us are very artistically inclined, so we went for a simple design, just block letters against the yellow with the background. It took us a couple days, we got it done. And then towards the end of the fall semester, we put on a virtual assembly to help kids with studying for finals. We went around to all the teachers and did videos with them telling their students how to study for their specific finals, and then each of the Honor Society kids gave study tips that helped them during finals. And then we put in a couple of fun, appropriate games with red Solo cups at the end. And it was all pre-recorded, so that there was no lag from live streaming it or anything like that. And so usually we do an induction in May, but since we didn't get to do that at the end of the 2020 school year, we did one this November, I believe, to induct our incoming junior members, and it was just us three putting on that induction, but then we still didn't have enough people to get through all our projects, so we did an early induction again in February to induct our sophomore members that qualified. And the skill lunch. Yeah, the skill lunch, that was so. This March we did Clover Days, which is it's for St. Patrick's Day. One day we give all of the girls a clover, and then if they have a non-academic conversation with a boy, they have to give the boy their clover, and the boys are trying to get as many clovers as possible. And then the next day we switch and do the boys get the clovers and the girls try to take them. It's just kind of a fun thing to do around St. Patrick's Day. It's kids, off their darn phones. And we also did a book drive to help get books for the library. We had to set up an Amazon account, and we'd like to thank Mr. or Mrs. Melsness for helping us out with that one. And basically we sent out a survey, let all the kids let us know what kind of books they liked and what authors they liked, and then we put out word about the Amazon thing, and people would go to the link and one of the books off the list. We had 93 books donated this spring.
You were hoping about 25, right? So
Yeah. And we hope to do an elementary drive in the fall and another high school drive next spring. So the American Red Cross Blood Drive, we do, Lakeview High School has done that in the past in some capacity, but this is the first year that Honor Society has had a part in that. We managed getting all the volunteers there and setting up the times for that, and some of us even signed up as donors this May. The Red Cross sponsors a scholarship based on the help from students and the amount of blood they receive, and this year the $500 scholarship went to Samantha Sanchez. And they have scheduled to have a blood mobile at the LHS this fall. Honor Society usually does a lot of serving at various functions and luncheons at the Elks Lodge and other places. We didn't get to do too much of that this year. We did the Mother's Day brunch at the Elks Lodge, and then we also had our juniors serve at the Senior Mother's Luncheon in the DMS auditorium. We ended up getting to do a dodgeball tournament this year when me and Wyatt Patsky went to talk to Mr. Stratton. We were thinking we would just do like an in-school thing during the school day, but he convinced us that we needed the community, and he helped us schedule it so that we could get community involvement. We'd like to thank him for that. We ended up with 9 teams, which is about half of the last time, but we played double elimination, so we got quite a few games. We had a ton of community support. There were a whole bunch of people that showed up. And one of our high school boys teams won the tournament, although Les Schwab did make a pretty good run there. The Noni Vandenberg Scholarship, we do that every year. We have like a board of like half Honor Society kids that are juniors or sophomores, and then half adults that look through all the applications and decide who gets the scholarship. And the scholarship comes from the money we get from the Sunflower for Noni Run, the Color Run. And this year, Kaylee Schneider won that scholarship. And now moving on to the Color Run. This is our 4th year. It would have been our 5th if we didn't have to cancel last year. It was on May 16th, and we ended up with 135 runners. We usually have about 150, but that's pretty good considering the circumstances. We had a ton of people sign up on the day of the race. And we also have a 4-H Go Run program, I believe, that usually gives us a dozen or a couple dozen runners every year. It really helps us out with numbers. We have a committee of like 12 to 15 Honor Society members that do all the work from ordering the t-shirts to the porta potties to communicating with ODOT to cross the highway and also with the town to get the route approved. And then just this last weekend we had an end of the year barbecue at the Hussey residence. We had tri-tip, played cornhole, horseshoes, and made some s'mores. It was a good time. We really appreciate the support of Mr. Stratton and Mr. Rose and Mr. Carter. We wouldn't have been able to do most of these projects without them. Are there any questions?
Especially with the COVID friends.
Excellent report.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Wish you all the
Great
best
year.
for your next endeavor.
Where's your plans again?
Oregon State.
Oregon State.
Mechanical engineering.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna
Yep, you're good ahead.
Thank you.
I've had
Okay, Next up is building principal report, and we'll go with Mrs. Warner.
Thank you for indulging me. I've got to do some driving tonight. I appreciate it. The elementary's been like a little ant farm or a beehive, I think. Not quite as much as up there with graduation with Lane and Crest. We held Kinder Roundup 13th and 20th, and we had 32 kindergartners that had attended that. We know we'll have a few more, but we feel like we've canvassed the community and the preschools. We just might have a little bit smaller class. We're anticipating 2 teachers there so far. We tested our kids for their spring benchmarks. We were very pleased with the growth for our students from fall to spring and where they started with the deficits. We took all of the spring data, reviewed students' scores, and placed them into interventions that will start the first week of school in the fall. We have some preliminary scores back for Smarter Balance. They're not quite as high as what we would like, but we were pleased with another measure of growth. Our teachers, I wanted to do a big shout out to our teachers. They came up with some really creative field trips. They threw together some of our normal year-end field trips and activities at the end of the year, and our kids ended the year on a really positive note that way. One of the things that I was impressed with is Tony Longacre has put together the 4th grade fishing derby for many, many years, and Tony is retiring, and he was very concerned that the kids last year didn't get to do it because of COVID, so he hosted 2 days, 4th and 5th grade fishermen up there, and the day that I was up there, everybody caught fish, at least 2 or 3 fish, and it was a great day, very positive interaction with the community for the kids. We had our usual year-end picnic at Union. We held year-end awards assemblies, and to be able to end the year in something that was more normal, looking towards the fall. One of our activities out at Union was the little garden club that Randy Nider put together after school with some help from Lacey Hampton and some other parents, and it was so popular they added an additional session. We planned for 2 and they did 3. I'm working on 3rd rounds of interviews to fill places from some of our absenteeism or our resignations from our employees, and some retirements. I'll do those in about a week. What I'm most excited about right this moment is our summer programs. We begin in-service for summer programs tomorrow and Friday, and then we'll have students starting at 8 a.m. on Monday morning. Right now, I want to apologize to Mr. Carter. I gave him an incorrect number earlier when we met, and I have 144 students as of today enrolled in summer programs.
Well, that's the way to go.
I have enough students to do 2 kindergarten classrooms, 2 1st grade classrooms, and 2 3rd grade classrooms right now. We had a retiring teacher step up, and she wanted to do a math and science class for our elementary students. So 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th graders will have an hour of a STEM class every day. And then she worked with one of our math consultants every week for the last month or so to put together some pretty meaningful math and science integrated projects for those kids that are coming to summer programs. We also infused some really great professional development for our staff and trying to get as much bang for the buck during summer school and get some extra training for our teachers that were here. We're winding down the year. The buildings are teachers have cleaned out rooms and the custodians are getting to work, and we're excited for our next steps with summer school. So, thank you. Do you have any questions?
Susan, how many of our current teachers are helping with summer school?
I have a staff meeting first thing in the morning, and I have 23 staff members, and I think one of them is a new teacher coming on board. I have 2 substitute teachers that are helping out, and 1 new teacher that's coming on board. All of those current staff.
It's amazing. Also, Mr. Chairman, I want to mention to you and the board that I got to go to the Union picnic, and I have to admit I had a hard time coming back to work because that was a real tough assignment. I really enjoyed it. That families out there did a great job. The kids, I was jealous. I didn't bring the proper attire so I could be part of the water. I don't want to say war, but water fight.
It will always be good at the Union picnic, guaranteed.
That was fun.
And swat a few mosquitoes.
Oh, the food and the fellowship was great. I just wanted to tell them it was great.
Good.
I'm surprised they didn't get you anyway. Usually no one's off limits.
I think because I was in a suit. That's what I'm
I'm
hoping.
just saying. If I were there, I would have got you.
Yeah, that's I would have expelled you. Never mind. That's a whole.
All right, anything else? Okay, thank you, Susan. All right, Mr. Stratt?
Good evening, everyone. Get you off with job openings. Currently have openings for the library manager, family consumer science teacher, physical education teacher, and special education teacher. So still have some openings. I think we're going to be okay, but getting down to crunch time. Our enrollments, I'm going to keep the same numbers we had at the last meeting. We actually had a few kids try to enroll the last week of school, and we asked if we could just do maybe a day where they shadowed some students. And so we had 3 students come in last Wednesday and shadow with some peers. And I thought that was a good chance for them to see what's going on. So approximately 205 at the high school with 25 at Lakeview Academy, which puts us at 230. And 109 at the middle school with 15 at the academy, which puts us at 124. So that was our numbers at the end there. Graduation. We started planning for graduation in January. We did monthly meetings. We had a graduation committee made up a handful of teachers and staff members, and could not pull it off without that committee. Ms. Caitlin White, Mr. Bowers, Ms. Schulenberger, Ms. Spar, Ms. Thompson, Ms. Harris, Ms. Emma, and myself and Mr. Rose. I think I got everybody, yeah, Chris? And we worked on it monthly, and then the last 2 months weekly. What's that? Oh, maintenance guys.
It's also met with us a couple times as we got closer.
Yes, yeah, that's fine. We had Quinn and Angie, Quinn McKay and Angie Albertson there, and started putting it and planning it. And again, it went off great despite COVID regulations. The parade is now going to become a tradition, and I think we're going to keep it Saturday morning, as long as graduation stays on Saturday. And so we'll keep that parade going. I hope that everybody agreed to it. Live stream. We had approximately 50 logins to the live stream. So we don't know if we'll keep that service up. His cost went up, but it's a great service. I think we have a great connection with Kurt Ledke. So we'll see what happens. I guess it depends on what COVID does. So we'll get some feedback, plan it again, and see what's up. The banners uptown, those cost us approximately $30 per senior. They're quality banners, so I'll be looking for some feedback also from the school board and the budget and the new principal. That cost us about $30 per senior, and our 2 senior classes are kind of behind in money due to COVID. We didn't have concession stands, didn't have a prom, those type of things that help pay for these expenses. And also one other thing I'd like to let you guys know is our senior picnic was up at Common Reservoir the last attendance day for the seniors. My senior advisors, Mr. Evan Reese, Ms. Lisa Schulenberger, and Mr. Rick Stupak took the kiddos up in 2 buses, barbecued, kayaked, what do you call that, board games like horseshoes, cornhole, and the kids just had a blast. I didn't realize how many kids had not been to a lake, how many kids had not been in a kayak or a boat. An amazing day, had a great time. Hats off to my senior advisors for going up there and also being able to use 2 buses to get them up there. NHS talked about the blood drive scholarship. I'm excited about bringing that back and putting Lakeview High School's name on it, and there's one coming up. So anytime we donate, it kicks money back to a scholarship for a high school senior. You've heard a lot about summer school activities. Currently, we have 50 plus students in high school students in credit retrieval, meaning they failed a class or they're taking a class to get ahead. And we also have some students taking college classes. So we have 50 plus or minus high school students currently right now working on some sort of credit course. So pretty excited about that, and Miss Sam Farr's heading that up. We will have enrichment activities. They actually started the other night. We had 35 students out there with Miss Harris and Miss Farr for a weekly enrichment activity. And then I believe we have 20 students in a forensic science camp that Miss Young and SRO Patterson are gonna run. Pretty excited about that. Forensic camp, and they're gonna be doing some really cool stuff. I'm looking for someone 18 or older to volunteer to be tased. Any takers, Mr. Carter?
No. That's not gonna happen.
I
Mr.
think
Winter.
Scott said
Oh, no,
it's
no.
on board.
I have a history of heart disease.
I thought I saw
No,
Mr.
no.
Winter raise his hand.
No, I did not. Genetic history precludes that.
So I'm pretty excited about that, and then we'll kind of slow down and back off, and then hit it hard in August with a lot of academics. And pretty excited what we have planned for that in August. And along with that, wanted to let you know, if you remember back in the days of COVID, we had to give seniors so many days to collect their credits, and we had to give the freshmen through juniors so many days to collect their credit. And we pretty much nailed every student and gotten that taken care of from the closure last spring. We lost a couple due to dropouts or move-outs, but I'm pretty excited about how we finished that up. And then lastly, I would like to say thanks to the staff and board for supporting and believing me as a principal for the last 3 years. Super great experience. I am excited getting into the math classroom. I'm a little nervous also, but I think that goes with the job. And then also thank you, Mr. Carter and the board, for Monday's all-staff breakfast. That was a great way to end the year, and I appreciate it. That's it, Mr. Schillenberger.
But I have one more thing. We also were able to give the seniors radio time, so they were able to do radio spots. It's special, especially with that class of 2021. They lost so much, so appreciate letting them setting that up as well.
Lane, I had just one question. What happens to the banners once they're live their life?
I believe the students get them,
Really good.
Is there kids on each side though?
No.
but it's banners.
It's one.
They're just
Oh,
stuck
two
together to fit on the pole.
Excellent. Cool. That's great. Good deal. Any other questions for Mr. Scrapp? Well, great job on graduation, and again, it's great, excellent work there for the last 3 years as Principal Lane, and look forward to seeing you in the classroom.
Thank you.
All right. Next up is Mr. Rose, Lakeview Academy Principal, VP, and AD.
Thank you. Last week, I sat down with Ms. Barr, Mrs. Harris. We did end of the year discussion on the academy, discussed our thoughts for next year, some of the data that Sam Barr has been able to collect on student interest for next year, and looking forward to discussing that with the admin team next week when we go to the COSA conference. There is a little bit of a lag time when the instructional semester ends. Those academy teachers extra days to do their grades, and so that's why tomorrow, I believe Thursday, all those grades will be submitted to us. Then we'll have those finalized. We've looked at over the past 3 weeks, we've had a chance on campus to look at our student handbook for next year, got some staff input on that. I know that Ms. Holzman would also like some input, and so that's another thing that we will look at together next week. In our building still, it's been pretty busy. The secretaries are closing up accounts, finishing up, running reports, working some late nights. And Mrs. Harris, too, as Lane had mentioned, started her weekly Tuesday program yesterday and got a really good turnout. It was great to see the number of kiddos and the kiddos that were there. Patterson is doing that with her. For summer school, I'll just add, we did have, by my count, we had 8 teachers, including one of our brand new teachers who hasn't even been here yet. We were fortunate to meet his wife, though, when she came looking for housing last week.
One of our aides, of course, Mrs. Harris, and Rebecca in the kitchen is going to be cool as well. With athletics, it's been super busy, and with basketball and wrestling, it's never been so busy, but our teams are doing well and just enjoying the opportunity, especially because it's a little different playing in the summer. We hosted the district wrestling championships today, and one of the coaches says, "Wow, it's so strange to finish and drive home in the daylight." And it's been a weird year, but it's been a blessing. Our well-coached team did very well. Coach Ludwig is proud to have 5 state qualifiers: Grayson Granger, Wyatt Patsky, Rail Harmon, Morgan Ludwig, and Adrian Stubbs all qualified. Wyatt, Morgan, and Adrian all placed first today. Grayson was the second, Rail was the third. So it's pretty exciting. Shannon's done just a great job coaching them. We do still have basketball this week. Next week, a group of ADs is working on organizing a 2A basketball bracket, kind of like the baseball and softball ones that happen that first or second week of May. So this week we'll hear about that bracket if we make it or not. Our girls probably should. I guess it depends for the boys how we do this week still and how many teams. Okay. But OSAA so far is planning for a regular calendar year next year. That's what they released. And looking at participation numbers, they're down in a lot of schools that we participated against. And as I plan for next year, I find that they're kind of down too. For example, there aren't any JV teams out there in a lot of schools that we typically play. So we'll see how that plays out. Hopefully numbers will get back up for a lot of those other schools next year.
Okay, understand. Any questions for Mr. Rose? All right, thank you very much. Good report. Next up is Special Education Director Lonnie Schmitz.
Good evening. We are ready for summer school. We do extended school year every year. We try to do that for for 6 weeks in a row. We're going to try the summer school schedule with that 2 weeks in June and 3 weeks in August. Extended school year is for students who have an individual education plan and need to maintain over the summer. So there has been some regression, and we need to maintain that and help those kids when they come into the fall into the classroom, so they start with what they were learning last year. And so we actually have 12 students this year attending, and several of our special ed staff members are going to be providing that school. So we're looking forward to that. And we had a few more students, but it was a commitment of summer school, and families are doing other things, so they're not going to take us up on the extended school year. And then we just had 10 of our staff attended training for 2 days. It was a Tuesday and Wednesday training. And it was sponsored by Eastern Oregon, the WREN project for their for technology and social emotional learning. And then Amy Fortune through the ESD brought it to Lakeview because she attends those meetings. And so we were able to bring in a guest speaker and really talk about social emotional learning and how can we use technology, and if we would have to go to technology. And I think a lot of our teachers are going to use both, just because it's kind of the way that kids are going as they move into college and jobs and all different things. And how do you identify child abuse, or how do you identify if kids need different help than maybe the class, or how do you discipline online? So our teachers are working on some projects, and we're going to bring our trainer back in July and go over those projects so that they walk away with something. Very successful, very great training, lots of input from our staff that attended, and I know they're tired, but I thank them all for attending because I think it'll be helpful for them. And that's all I have this morning.
All right, thank you, Lonnie. Any questions for Ms. Chavez? Hearing none. Next up is a financial report from Janet Moses.
Good evening. So I'm reporting April year to date. So total month to date revenues is at $829,000, which is under plan unfavorably by about 351. We didn't collect as much as we had anticipated, and month-to-date expenditures were favorable in the amount of about 58,000. Currently, our year-to-date overall picture through April 30th of this year, year-to-date revenues, excuse me, we're below by about 162,000 just in over the course of through April. Most of our local sources, which is where the biggest hit is, and we've discussed that many times. We've anticipated that within our year-to-date expenditures, though. Favorable amount of about 324,000. Our salaries, obviously, part of that. Purchase services were up a little bit, as well as our supplies. So with that, year-to-date we've collected about 93% versus 95% that we were in actual year-to-date over the course. Local sources, 93 when we did 109%. Means I have something messed up. And state sources, 90%. So that's pretty solid when we look at that because we know what we're getting from as far as state and school funds. Any questions on revenue? Year-to-date expenditures, overall 63% is what we've seen. 6% except salaries, you see that it's 77% that we've spent. That's versus the 75 we projected. Our consumables, durables, etc. low in there as far as 54%, almost 55% versus 60 of what we anticipated to spend at this point. Going down, if you guys will take a look at your month end, trying not to have a heart attack all week, but I'm still having a heart attack. We are probably going to hit about 5 by the time we're done. Now this is through the end of April. May and June is a projection, and I don't have May quite finished up yet to tell you that it's going to get any better. But I do know that that 500 would include my what we're realistically looking at. And you'll see this in my supplemental budget. It's going to change my transfer situation going because those numbers are not in those projections. We're just doing that this evening, resolution. So this could change, but I would bet between 500 and 700,000 at the time we're in reality.
Janet, did she ask if we had any questions?
I did.
Okay. We need to get broadband fiber internet to Bly, Oregon, I can tell. It's Klamath County, and I just see care in my eyes. No. I'm kidding.
Barely over.
All right.
I just figured that someone was running the blender for some lengthy period of time.
Maybe a
Sorry, Janet.
lawnmower,
Chainsaw.
Cows.
And I don't know. I mean, nobody's back here.
That's crazy.
A leaf blower, something like that.
Okay, so only comment is oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I just said I'm trying to make it sound like I'm really super busy.
Oh, okay. So 535 projection is lower than we've been probably in my career.
Ever,
Yeah, here. We'll see how that comes out, but
60.
Mr. Carter is swearing by 680 over here, so we'll see what happens.
Well, considering the year.
Yeah.
If we're still on the good side of things, you know, we survived.
But we also have to build some things back from COVID too.
Right.
So we just don't know yet. It's just been a very unique year, you know, you got to go buy something to get it open and then just buy it. So. And it's been, Janice done a good job, but it's been very frustrating to be a businessman. Was that a lawnmower? Sorry.
Chainsaw.
That's a chainsaw, yeah.
All right, any other questions for Janet?
Nope.
All right, moving on then, do we have any old business? Hearing none. New business, resolution number 12, supplemental budget adoption.
So, as you can see, I kind of had to go about this because there was a lot of changes I've done it on the whole, and this is just a complete summary as to how we do it when we adopt budgets. So special revenue funds, there's two sets of those. That I go to is a 15 million and 54,696 overall. Our and they go from 11 to 2. And then the special revenue funds is all of our special education grants, anything within that realm. It has decreased from 2.1 million down to 1.9 million. Annual revenue funds, which is consistent of horticulture and the ag farm, and then the summer work program. Of course, that was for the last, we didn't really have, we kind of erred on a little bit of having it in our system. Then we turned around and we've had it this year. As far as prepping for this, I went ahead and I made that adjustment from 56,000, and then of course capital projects. This is where you'll see I could pull back on transfers, push. So this is where the dip is. For the most funds we had from the fires and that sort of thing, we gained us. I'm sorry, this is Fund 600 stuff. I apologize. I got ahead of myself. There was more retirees that we do not split, and then of course Section 125 people that or our 10-month people, they all for 12 months of insurance. So it's an in and out situation there. And then fiduciary funds, this is where we come in with those funds that we hires from postings this past year. So there's a sizable increase there. So you're looking at a new budget of 15 million.
Okay. All right. Any further discussion on that topic? We have a motion.
I move to approve resolution number 12, supplemental budget adoption as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 12 of supplemental budget adoption as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right. Resolution number 13. Adopting the budget.
This is for, our new year, 21-22. We're looking at it, gone through the process with the budget committee in 965,568. This is a map that I used previously in the supplemental. Your general fund, your special revenue funds are all lined out. We're just looking for an approval, and then of course resolution imposing the tax.
All right. Any discussion on resolution number 13. You'll notice, we're what, about 100,000 less than last year? That's no fun.
The 21-22 also doesn't, that came through, at the very end. Also, what's not included, which is gonna have to be included in the upcoming year, we'll have another supplemental. That will be the summer school, funds that came through as well. So we're gonna look at an even higher budget than that. The ESSER money that we just $6 million.
I move to approve resolution number 13, adopting the 2021-22 budget as presented.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt resolution number 13, adopting the 2021-22 budget as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, resolution number 14, GASB 54, ending fund balance.
Okay, so this is our GASB 54 ending fund balance policy. So you're looking at defining what is restricted, assigned, unassigned, and non-spendable fund balances. Your restrict consists of your fund 600s, your committed is your 240s, 260s, which is all cafeteria, ag farm, athletic, equipment reserve, and your main. As this is specific uses by personnel with authority, so Mr. Carter and myself. And then that would include your general funds, your reserve funds, and then unassigned, ending fund budgeted, unappropriated, and fund transfers. Included in that outside of Fund 100 would be your cafeteria, athletics.
I think it's something else. It's just not that.
Right.
I move to approve resolution number 14, GASB 54, ending fund balances as presented.
Second.
So moved and seconded to approve resolution number 14, GASB 54, ending fund balance as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution number 15, GASB 54, ending fund balance for FY 2021.
This categorizes this into your general fund, non-major, major capitals, and non-major funds, broken down. So this is what we anticipate fund balance being at the end of 2021, going into 2022.
Okay, any questions?
I move to approve resolution number 15, GASB 54, ending fund balance for year 2020-21 as presented.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 15, GASB 54, ending fund balance for fiscal year 2020-21 as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Letter of termination with County Industrial Park.
We just had an agreement that we don't use anymore, so it's gonna free them up, so they can do what they need to do. Face is different.
Does that need a motion?
Yeah, terminated, yes.
Alright, so we have a motion for that?
What is it?
Go ahead, Scott.
I move to approve the termination with the county industrial park.
As presented.
As presented?
It's a little corner building.
Yeah.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
So,
Janet, can you go on mute real quick?
There you go. Janet, can you mute? Thank you. That's it.
oh, it is her.
Okay, so I believe Darwin seconded it. It's been moved and seconded to approve the letter of termination with the county for the industrial park site there that we've been using. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. All right, PACE insurance for fiscal year 2021-22.
So we got the proposal in there, that's what the bid came back, it's standard, so it works all the way through. So we're in good shape, we're gonna have a couple extra trainings on child abuse training, some others to keep our insurance down, but we did our part to get the lowest rate possible.
Any other comments on that?
Go ahead.
I just wanted to add that in the budget, if we anticipated increase, and it ended up being a 13% increase.
A little higher.
I'll do the motion. I move to approve PACE insurance for the 2022 fiscal year as approved.
Second.
Thank you, Annie and Darwin. It's been moved and seconded to approve the PACE insurance for the 2021-22 fiscal year as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Okay, we're down to consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Announcements.
Announcements.
Next board meeting agenda items.
We have a few I need to add. We need to add the handbook approval. We need to add the in-service schedule. We need to have the election of officers. We need to approve resolution number 1, which is the one that tells business who's who. And then we need to, I'd like to go and talk about superintendent's contract. I'm not looking for any extra compensation, but I need to get some wording on time off. So I can get a little more flexibility so I can get off.
And also, we'd like to move the meeting from the 14th to the 21st.
That's good. Okay. So move the meeting to the 21st.
Everybody got that? Okay. Any other topics? Alright. Looking for adjournment.
I move we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Meeting is adjourned.